Cool. Oh man, let's get it going. Doing this thing. Got the playing around with the camera again. Got the camera doing the AI framing thing. You know, I gotta play with the technology every now and then. Let me see if I can get this thing to. But what I like about it is I can move around more. I can move around more in the setting here and relax a little bit more with the video in a live format. So hopefully we get some people in. Y'all let me know if the audio is good. Hopefully it is. I should be touching up some last minute stuff on one of the videos I'm editing. But for some reason, I don't know, it's there. It's gonna be out tomorrow. I said it was gonna be out by Christmas. I was mistaken. It's gonna be out this weekend. But that'll be the video of Costa Rica. Not that long of a video. I think 12 to 14 minutes, something like that. Anyway, if we get some people in here, let me know where you're checking in from. If you're new here, you know, we're doing this vertical and horizontal at the same time. Let me see what the vertical looks like. Check it out right quick. It's decent. It's kind of, when this thing zooms in, it kind of cuts me off. But yeah, it's like the vertical got the back of my head cut off, which is cool because, you know. But yeah. So we're going live with StreamYard. StreamYard's definitely, seems like they pushing the tech forward. It's been one of those subscriptions I've had where I haven't really been getting my money out of it because I haven't been using it as much as I should. I was thinking about canceling it this coming year, but I don't know. I'm gonna give it a few more chances, see how live streamings go, see if it's worth me incorporating something like StreamYard into my live stream. So we want to see if we can use more of the features, whether that's taking polls and stuff like that. But for tonight's chat, I do want to talk about travel creativity, how one may spark the other. Sometimes you don't need travel for creativity, but I don't know, I kind of want to give my opinions on it. So I'm looking forward to see if you guys have some thoughts on it as well. And I got the comment section. Yeah, you see it, it's right on the screen. So we keeping the comments on the screen. What's good? At Nitama. That sounds like a Japanese name. You in Japan? Time is in Japan. It's too early for people in Japan to be up. But let's see what we got. So if you notice the screen may be moving a little bit, it's that I got an AI cameraman. It's the actual software in the camera doing its thing. I think they call it's a feature called AI framing. So auto reframing, something like that. But y'all tell me what you think. But let's make sure the sound is good. Audio should be good. I'm checking the levels there. Look decent. Should be coming through on this mic right here. And I'll try to keep it kind of discreet as far as the mic goes. And let me give a look at the channel here, the live stream from another browser, just to make sure we're good. Cool, we got 5 people in here. It jumped up to 15 for a little bit and then pop back down. I can't tell what's going on with these numbers. But normally what it is once we get enough people in the chatting in, then we'll start running with the topic because it's easier that way. We got nobody to chat with. It's talk about a subject is I guess it might be good for replay, but it's hard up front to get it started. So yeah, we'll been live for 5 minutes already. That ain't right. Nah, that can't be right. I ain't been rambling that long. Let me see something. Cool. Go to the link. Turn this down. I don't know why. Okay. So I see when I go to my website online, I see there's another chat in there, but I don't see the chat on actual StreamYard just yet. It's a delay for sure. Okay. There we go. I see somebody else said, "How are you? Hello." Okay. There we go. We got them checking in now. Claire Bouget said, "Hey," but I don't see that on this one. I don't see that on the main screen. I see it when I check in at YouTube. Anyway, we good. Yes, I just want to talk about creativity, travel. Maybe one sparks the other. You know, what do you guys think? And then for me, I feel like travel is starting to become a, international. I do travel internationally. I've traveled internationally for a long time, but I'm starting to think, you can do just as good of a travel exploration by just going even to the next city, the next state, if you're here in America, maybe even the next county. Just depends on what you're going for, what you're after. Okay, you say you got a question. What's the question? Go ahead. You in the chat. You could ask right there. Do I watch boxing or soccer? I definitely prefer boxing. I definitely would prefer to watch. I guess I can still highlight the comments here. You guys can see it on the screen. I can still highlight it. That's a crazy picture, man. That's your baby. That's your newborn baby. he done photobomb the camera. He or she can't tell from this picture, but yeah, boxing for sure. You too? Yeah. I mean, I'm not crazy into boxing. I don't know all the boxers' stats and everything, but I'm familiar with it, with the sport. Nope, never visited Egypt. Never visited Egypt. Obviously, it's on my list because of the pyramids. I think any traveler, Egypt is on their list. Although there was a period where I thought about going, then I had to put it on pause after when YouTube was talking about how they won't let you bring cameras into the country, like mirrorless cameras. I was like, and then he went through this whole thing. He's a pretty big YouTuber as well. And he went through this whole thing of how they had to buy, he's out there with a crew. So they went ahead and bought a bunch of iPhones while they were in Egypt and made it work. And, talking about sparking some creativity, or creativity under stress or, lacking circumstances, that was definitely some creativity on their whole team's part to get that. And it looked great. The footage they got looked great. I mean, especially from a solo YouTuber's perspective, when you got a team like that and everybody's thinking about problems, thinking about you get the iPhones, they're already forecasting what format, frame rate they need to film in, whether it's going to be log format through some other app. They're already doing all that. So their learning curve, they can get something figured out in one evening when you got a team of people that are working on how to make something better, working on a problem, or just the problem is making it better. So yeah, I've been to Asia, got a lot of content from Asia, man. Thailand, Japan. I got some Malaysia content from Malaysia that I didn't put out. It's just, there was no real story behind it. But I was talking with another YouTuber recently, and the idea of, I think he's already done it before, but the idea of doing a video where you're talking like this, talking to camera, talking head style, but then you splice in some of your travels, and the footage from the travel doesn't need a story because you're telling the story, and it can be unrelated to what you're seeing. So you might see me in Malaysia, Patron Towers, and then I'm talking about not specifically that place, but I'm just talking about travel. Or I might be talking about something totally unrelated, but that's just in the background as a screensaver, but I'm in the screensaver. You know what I mean? So that might be a cool way to not get rid of, but to utilize some of my footage that I haven't released yet. Mainly because, the difficult part is crafting a story when you go to a place and you weren't fully intentional on the story. You're just like, I just need to film this. It's a blessing and a curse. I've done that with a lot of places, and then I try to craft a story later. It requires a lot up here, and it doesn't always work out. Sometimes you fall flat. Most of the time I fall flat with the story, but getting better with that. But then also I think it's still the fact that you have the footage, you have the video from years ago, you in a place. And, for me, that's why I like to get the video at the highest quality I can, that I can afford. I'm not going to go crazy out there with it. But mirrorless cameras are, most people, especially if you can afford to travel. If you can afford to travel, you can save up at some point and get yourself a decent mirrorless camera and get very good footage. And you might not need to get the top-notch footage all the time. Maybe rolling around with an old school DJI Action 4 is your thing, but you need to have something like this available to you and know how to use it, at least at a basic level, for some of these places that are just, if you're in places around the world, if I go to pyramids, come on, man, and as far as them banning mirrorless cameras, I think that ban is over now. So, but if I go there, I'm definitely going to try to take a mirrorless camera and get the best quality, the best image I can produce. Put it like that. All right, what other questions we got? I would love to visit the motherland. My auntie is from Africa and she said it's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, Africa's a big place. You're talking about a continent that's, 4 times the size of Europe, or close to 4 times the size of Europe. I mean, they got, how many time zones does Africa have? 5 time zones. And then they go from, right now, the northern part of Africa, it's a little cold. And then you go all the way down to the bottom and they're in the middle of summer. So, you know what I mean? Like they got a lot going on. They got some places that are straight trash and some places that are like heaven, like Eden. Like I'll say like the base of Kilimanjaro, that area, Tanzania, at base camp is like 7,000 feet. If you ever go there, you look around, you see all the animals, you're like, yo, this is what the Bible was talking about when they said Garden of Eden. Gotta be. Because everything is here. All the animals can survive here. And if it's too hot for you down there at 7,000 feet, all you got to do is walk up the mountain. It's not like just one skinny mountain. It's a wide area, right? All you got to do is walk up for like a day or half a day, and you're going to cool off. You walk up 2 days, you're going to see snow. That's crazy. And if you walk down to sea level, it's going to be burning hot. So it's one of those places where you can, on foot, you can control your environment to a degree if you're in that right spot. So yeah, Africa is an amazing place. It's a lot. The only part that sucks about Africa is traveling around the continent is not cheap. Don't get it twisted and think that things are cheap in Africa because they're not developed. They used to be cheap 15 years ago. Not even 15 years ago. I think like before 2019, things were reasonable. And then I would say 2015, things were like what you would expect. They'd be on par with like South America or cheaper. Now in a lot of places, especially in the cities, it's like, why are you charging at this hotel that's barely functioning? You're charging $150. What's going on here? So, and then catching one airline from one country to another directly is crazy expensive. Makes no sense at all. It's cheaper for you to fly back to Europe. Okay, put it like this. From Accra, Ghana to Lomé, Togo is about, I want to say, a 4-hour drive. Although if they did the roads really good and just made it direct, it would probably be like an hour and a half. But you kind of go up and then back down. And anyway, it's not that bad. It's one lane. If there's traffic or accident on there, it's going to slow everything up. It's not really direct as it should be. But if you want to catch a flight would be 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Like you take off, you get up, you come down, you prepare for landing, you start coming down, land. Sometimes it's cheaper to fly to Europe, 5 hours to Europe, 5 hours, about 5 hours to Europe, and fly back down another 5 hours to Lomé than it is to fly directly across. And that goes for a lot of other places on the continent. At least the last time I was there, and that was 2 years ago now. Crazy. That's one of the main gripes I have about Africa. It's like, that does not make any sense. My people in Africa, you're the only place in the world where that is going on. If it wasn't for that, there'd be a lot more tourism there. So I don't know whose fault it is. I don't know if it's, a lot of times people say, oh, it's the Europeans. They don't want to help us out with the whatever. Maybe it's their fault. I don't know. But really it just boils down to, I think Africa needs to put a priority on ease of transportation between other African countries, because the rest of the world is Asia. You want to hop between Malaysia, Thailand, Japan, China, even cheap. All kind of flights going. You want to go from Colombia to Brazil to Peru to Bolivia, cheap. All kind of flights popping. Europe, you want to go from Germany to Romania to England to France, cheap. Flights popping all the time. Not to mention they got train systems up there that work very well too. And the United States is almost, a continent itself, but obviously you can get flights from here to Mexico, Canada. Africa's the only one. They got airports, but It's like I don't know what's going on. So that's the one place I would say that you got to watch out for traveling internally. It's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be cheap. What other questions we got? So what's my dream country to go to? I don't know, man. I never really have a dream country, but obviously there's places you can't go right now that I wish I would have went to before, like Ukraine. I wish I would have went there before. I had people tell me about it before. Yeah, I think when I was in Thailand even when I was back in 2009, one of the guys I was stationed with mentioned Ukraine. Actually, he said he didn't have a good time at the airport. He said at the airport they treated him. He said, this is him saying this. I never heard anybody else say this, but he said at the airport they were kind of, he's a tall, big black dude, and he said they were giving him a lot of trouble at the airport, and he was with the U.S. military, like on official business, and they were giving him trouble at the airport. They didn't give nobody else trouble. So that kind of threw me back a little bit. But then, I've heard other people say great things about it. Never, the other black dudes who mentioned it, who went there, said they never brought that up as an issue. So I didn't ask. But yeah, that would have been a cool place to visit. Most of the people I meet from there are pretty cool. I've met Ukrainians outside of Ukraine, obviously, in Europe and the US. They've always been pretty cool. So actually, I met one YouTuber. I'm pretty sure he's Ukrainian. I met him in Thailand. And I think he went back to Ukraine about a year ago. And I was just checking his channel recently. I don't think he's been posting for a minute. I hope he good. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, you should come to Ukraine. I was like, huh? I think he was there. Yeah, he messaged. Yeah, he was on. I was doing a live stream. He messaged in my live stream like, yeah, you should come to Ukraine. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? He's like, yeah, I'm there right now. I'm like, what are you doing? I didn't know he was Ukrainian, but when I met him, but then I found out later. I was like, bro, what are you doing in Ukraine? So that was one place. I always wanted to visit Russia. That's also another place that I don't know if probably pretty much off limits now. But when I was in the Navy, at one point, we were going to do a port visit into Vladivostok. That's on, the coast that borders Japan. And I was like excited. I was like, oh man, Russia, that'd be dope, bro. Like northern Russia too, a part of Russia you don't even hear about, Vladivostok. And yeah, we didn't go for whatever reason. Sometimes ships, they make plans and then they like, nah. Political tensions. I don't know if it was that or maybe we just had something else on our agenda or I don't know. But those are places. Okay, let's do this. I'll talk about a place I would want to visit on every continent. So I already talked about Europe, Eastern Europe. In Asia, let me think, a place I haven't been that I want to go to. I guess China. Haven't been there. Want to see what's going on with some of their super cities or whatever they call them. Africa, want to visit South Africa. Also want to visit Namibia, like along their coast. I heard they got some crazy waves along one of their coasts that go like really long waves. Actually, but when I was researching that, I was in Lima, and then I found out that in Peru, they got arguably one of the longest waves in the world, but it's further up north in the country. So I might, when I go back to Peru, I'm probably going to check that out. Maybe I should go to Peru soon. I probably should. It's their summertime now. That place is, I don't know. I just liked it. I just liked it a lot. I wasn't expecting a lot when I went there, and I was pleasantly surprised. So, um, it's not the best place for partying though. A lot of young cats will try to come out there and be like, "Oh well, no, it's not. It's not that." Okay, what else we got? Merry Christmas from Baltimore, Maryland. Okay, that's what's up. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Okay, you was watching old videos with one with you and Ace in Mexico, Puerto Escondido. Yeah, funny scene at the Rocks. What happened at the Rocks? I tell you what, man, I still got old Mexico videos. That video, that video where we did a lot of exploring in Mexico, I got that video and it needs to be edited. I haven't edited yet. How long has it been? 5 years? I don't know, man. Sometimes these things they take a life of their own and then they spin off. But I tell you what, the problem with that, me editing that video, I actually did have it edited to a certain point, but I'm no longer using that software on my iPad. So my iPad actually I got locked out of it, so I had to wipe it, reset it, all that. So I lost all my editing on there. But to tell you the truth, I'm my editing skills have increased so much since then that whatever I was doing, it had its own feel for that time. I'm sure I could take that same video. I still have the video. I could take that video and what I'm doing now with DaVinci Resolve and probably pop it out pretty quick. Unless I rethink the whole story, which I probably would do, and then somehow make it difficult. But yeah, that time of YouTube and travel YouTube especially, I think was like the golden era of travel YouTube. It's never going to feel like that ever again. A lot of places, everybody's been everywhere now. A lot of times, you went somewhere that was new, you do a documentary style or, some kind of way. Then less than a year later, somebody else goes right behind you, tries to do something very similar or the same exact thing even, which is, it's expected. But once that happens 2, 3, 4, 5 times, that subject is burnt. It's not even worth doing for the views, for YouTube views. Now, everybody can, if you want to do it yourself, just to do it, it's always there for that. And I would say there'll always be a spin on things too. Everybody, different personalities have different flavor. So let me not speak like you can't recook the same recipe. You can, and people will. Whether I say you can or you can't, people gonna do it anyway. Same with music, same with painting, same with movies, same with anything that's artistic. I think what eventually happens is you get to a point where you start to get very critical of a certain thing, and then it gets tweaked a little bit here and there, and then maybe it gets elevated. Speaking of elevated, did any of y'all see the new Avatar? Fire and Ash. 3D. If you see it, you got to see it in IMAX minimum. I don't know if they have IMAX without 3D, but you got to see it in IMAX 3D. It just has it was funny how and it was 3 hours long. It didn't feel like it was 3 hours, but they can pull you in with emotion. James Cameron, they can pull you in with emotion, and then you already know what's going to happen a lot of times. But then they'll change up a few little things and hop the story over here. Boom, boom, have a new focus point, move it over there. That was actually pretty good. If you pay attention to all of that that's going into it, it's a pretty good movie. I think one of the few movies that you should probably see in the theater. Yeah, when you visit Peru again, do you plan to go visit? I don't know how to pronounce that name, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the one with it's like the oasis with the sand dunes and everything. Yeah, I plan to do that. I want to go to Cusco. Yeah, I want to do some traveling around Peru for sure. Not just post up in Lima. Although I will be posting up in Lima for a minute. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, the drone would be cool. What's funny is I had a friend. He was actually in my videos from Argentina. He's a German friend I met out there, and he was in Lima when I went back the second time, and I didn't know he was there until I think we only had a few days, or either he had a few days left or I had a few days left, and he had already went to that spot. I was like, oh man, I wish I would have known. I would have definitely tagged along with you. And he was saying the same things, like, yeah, man, your drone shots would have been dope out there. I was like, yeah, everybody keeps saying that. I didn't do a lot of drone flying when I was in Costa Rica. I should have did more, but it wasn't. I don't know. I should have did more, but it would have been. The town was small. The beach is right there. It's like if you even from where we were staying, if I flew the drone out from the hotel resort we were staying at, it'd have been like in 3 seconds you would have seen the beach, you'd have seen the whole town, and that's it. So I don't know. You could definitely be more creative with the drone than just that shot. But maybe it's because the first time I turned it on out there, and I was hand launching it, and I'm sitting on the bench, my friend's beside me, and there's 2 palm trees or 2 coconut trees in front of us, and then the water is right there. The beach is right there. And I go to hand launch this thing, and I don't know, maybe I tilted my hand a little bit or something, but it took off like sideways, and it just warped around the trees right quick. It just, and was hovering about a foot over the water. I was like, yo, that ain't cool. Well, it was cool that it had obstacle avoidance on, so it went around the tree. But if it didn't have that on, it would have smacked into the tree, fell directly in the water. Done. Drone done. Glad that didn't happen though. And it wasn't that high up. So if it wasn't in danger of hitting anybody, it was only a foot off the ground. Because I was sitting down, held it like this, and then it just dropped off. Man, that joint had me shook. I was looking at that thing, I was like, got to be more careful, man. That'd have been money wasted right there. But last couple of years, I've been lucky with the drones. I'll say this. I do have pretty good drone skills for the most part, but there's a lot going on when you're flying. That's why a lot of times when I fly now, I try to look at a situation before I go out. Even though I'm flying the smallest drone you can, that you can get good quality video with, and it's under 250 grams. I still monitor the situation beforehand. I make sure, like, even though it's in a zone where I can fly, right? It says that I still try to pay attention to how often I see, you know, air traffic, helicopter traffic, something like that. If I see it once, even if I see it once in a day, I'm noticing where they go. Like, okay, they're going this way to that way. Okay. So if I fly, I'm trying to stay out of that possible path they might be on. Definitely not even trying to fly as high as they fly, but helicopters can do what they want. They can come down. A lot of times you'll see them much lower than they should be. But so got hit with the sleepiness also. But they'll come down and scoop around. That's why, like, in places like DC, you can't fly a drone because the helicopters have full reign in the DC area. They can go wherever they want, land wherever they want, move like they want. It's not like other areas around the world where there may be hard paths for most of them. Also, police helicopters. If you're in a place like LA or even Bogota, I noticed, I think they use police helicopters there too. If you see them, just bring that thing to a safe area or somewhere where you can immediately land on a rooftop or something, because they can do whatever they want. They'll just turn on a dime and start chasing something. But other than that, no real. Most things you need to look out for when you're flying a drone are pretty obvious. Power lines, crowds of people. If you're taking off and landing from a place that has a bunch of kids, make sure that you can hand grab that thing before the kids try to, get under it as it's landing. You don't want that, because then they're going to try to touch it and get their hands cut. What else? That's pretty much it with the drone stuff. But what I like to do a lot of times, I like to get, I'm still in the process of doing, learning about the best ways to fly and film with a drone. But all the maneuvers I do on a drone are manual. Some people like put it in automatic mode where it does certain things. I might need to try to start doing that, but everything you've seen from me up to this point has 98% of it has been manual. And that's, with the panning, zooming. So even when I'm moving around like this and then keeping a certain angle, like the camera just did there, that's all me. That's all me most of the time. So, but yeah, it's a cool thing to try, man. A cool thing to work with. Let me see. What other questions we got? I think we got a bunch of new people here. Schmidt 2326. Sounds familiar. But new people in the chat for sure. I think it might be because we're doing the vertical and the horizontal. And this, I don't know. Y'all tell me, is this video coming through in 4K? It says it's 4K here, but I don't know if it's just recorded in 4K. Let me check something out right quick. I can check it here. No, online it's only in HD. It's cool. It's good enough. But yeah, travel. Okay, yeah, you got it in 4K? Damn, okay. When I checked on YouTube, I only see HD. But it's clean though. Either way, it's clean. I got good lighting, decent lens on this thing. The AI thing is following me around a little bit. Man, got an AI cameraman doing that work, keeping it tight. I can get back and walk around a little bit if I need to. See what I'm saying? We can get up, and I hope I'm still in focus though. I don't know. I still got my matcha latte, just like my shirt. trying to get away from coffee. I'll still be doing a little bit every now and then, but the latte from Starbucks, actually, that might be a reason why I need to go back to Japan so I can get some good matcha, some ceremonial matcha, man. That stuff over there was different. Some of that, I think I did a video on that, right? Some of that stuff tasted like seaweed at first, but then you just notice they say it's caffeine, but it don't hit like caffeine, bro. It hits like something else. But it could also be most of the time when I'm drinking caffeine in the States, you know, it has other things in there. I try to tell them if they're doing pumps of sugar at Starbucks, one pump, I only get things about this size. I don't get the big old cups of anything. That's just ridiculous. A large in America, a large drink with sweetener in it of anything in America, I'm going to let you know right now, I don't care how big you are wrong. If you get the large of anything, you are wrong, friend. Get a regular size, medium, and if ain't enough, buy you another one later. But to just go in on a large, nah. A large, or whatever they call those at Starbucks, grandes with the full pumps of sugar. Come on, bro. That's not right. But that's another part of like when you travel too, man. You go to places like Japan, you see their large size of things is the old school regular size here. Even the regular here, I think, has gotten bigger. But in Europe and in Asia, if you get a large, it's not large. It's it's what the human body can accept in one sitting. Not this I don't know, I don't see those as much anymore, but you used to see people with the big old, they go somewhere and get the thing with the handle on it. Maybe those are gas station drinks where you get the soda and you get a big gulp and they got a handle on the thing. That's crazy, bro. That is actually, it seems like slow suicide. I ain't gonna lie. That's my opinion. But tell me what y'all think. But for me, that's another reason to travel. You see the way other people are doing things. Some things we do better in the United States, in my opinion. But there's quite a few things that other places are doing better. And to me, it doesn't even feel like they thought about it more. It's just the fact that they didn't get co-opted by greed, money, some corporations that are just chasing a bag. That's the only problem with, when you see things that are just not accepted in other places, it's because they know, like, okay, well, if we do this, it's going to hurt our people. They actually rely on their people for more than just soaking them up for consumerism. They need them to build things. They need them to set up schools, universities, all of that type of stuff. When you need your people for important tasks, you're not going to abuse them. You're not going to take them for granted. Anyway, I ain't trying to get political with this at all. What other questions we got? I can barely see I'm way back here. I can barely see the questions. I might have to pull up. Let me just walk up and this is going to be an active live stream. I have to get up and walk around. Food in the US? Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, you get in 1080p, you said? Yeah, that's cool. 1080p is good enough, man. I probably don't need to be in 4K anyway. Food in this country is very unhealthy. In this country, yeah, it's kind of hard, man. Where I was upset the other morning. You know how you be scrolling it, pull up my phone out of bed, waking up, which is unhealthy in itself. But I'm waking up, scrolling, see this dude talking about water, bottled water, and how much they're contaminated. He's talking about all this bottled water. And then the last one, he's like, yeah, one of the most contaminated bottles of bottled water, Fiji water. What? I had a bottle of Fiji right by the bed. I'm like, what you talking about, bro? Fiji? It was on Instagram. Somebody in the comments was like, at Fiji Water, their official Instagram, respond. I was like, I like that joint. I went below, like, respond now. Dang it. Fiji, don't tell me y'all got contamination going on in your water. You better not. If you do, you better fix it and go to straight glass bottles. I don't care how much it cost you. If that's true, if that is true, y'all done. I ain't heard nothing. I ain't heard that from nowhere else though. Just that one cat on Instagram. So who knows? Maybe it's just him trying to get views. But they could at least respond to the joint. I think it had a lot of views going on with it. Or maybe they're waiting for it to get to a certain level before they respond. And I hope they reply with, that's completely fabricated nonsense. And hit us with the data. Show us the stats. What? Hold up. Yeah. But you've never purchased Fiji water or tasted it? I mean, it ain't the cheapest water. That's another thing too, right? It ain't cheap. But a lot of people say it do taste the best. Maybe it's them contaminants we like. But they had other things on the list too, like Kirkland water from Costco. Some other waters you've heard about. I think it was like a list of like 5 or 6 of them. But then you think about it overall in general, it's like who is looking out for us if we have an organization that is their job for food safety, wouldn't the easiest one to check to see if it's proper would be water? I mean, dudes, I'm assuming dude's running the test by himself. But it's water. It's something you consume. You can probably pour the water over a sheet of paper and then just turn in a sheet of paper and that'll run the test. Come on, man. We gotta do better. I mean, if you get paid from a job, they're withholding taxes. Your taxes are being withheld, whether you like it or not. What is that doing? What are they doing with the joint? If our food is being contaminated, in the world's most advanced, we have some of the most advanced technology, right? But it feels, I don't know, man, it just feels like we're being sold out. Every time you turn around, it feels like somebody done sold it. People are looking at it and talking like they don't know what's really going on. We being sold out, bro. Stop playing. Y'all acting like y'all 5 years old thinking about these problems. Oh, how did this happen? Because somebody took a bribe. and sold it out. Any problem we have is because somebody took a bribe. Guaranteed. Stop believing all that other, shenanigans they talk about. Well, the blah, 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 blah. You took the money from somebody. That's all it is. And until more people start waking up and seeing that clear fact, and anybody that tries to tell you any different might be getting paid from somewhere, or they're just really stupid. And just because they got degrees don't mean they're smart. So that's all it is, man. You go to other places where smaller countries, where they have less going on, less economic ability to do some of this stuff, they're still keeping their food relatively healthy compared to us, which is a shame because it's like we're paying for our own poison, paying top dollar, struggling to pay for our own poison. Crazy. That wasn't today's topic, was it? That's not the topic, but we on it. What countries have I visited that had a majority healthy looking people? Almost a lot of them, or well, if you compare it to the United States, all of them are baseline healthier. Like their baseline is just, you see less morbid obesity. You know what I'm talking about? Morbid obesity, where you look at somebody like, yo, you about to die. Like when you can see it, like you're okay. Morbid obesity in my head, I don't know what the technical term is, but in my head, when you see somebody and like, there's no way you're going to make it to 60. Definitely not going to make it to 70. Like when you can see that, they could be 30 years old. Like that person is not going to live past, 55 probably. I mean, knock on wood, anything can happen to any of us, regardless of how physically fit you are. Doesn't, life is life. But when you put things in the favor of, you don't give yourself a fighting chance to live to a normal age, even in America where our life expectancy is not the best actually. But I think men are supposed to live to like 78 or 75 or something like that, and women maybe 82. When you see a lot of that going on, almost every other country has a better baseline than us. But the places that are probably where you see the healthiest baseline, general health, Japan, even in Africa. I got family in Togo and Ghana, and I tell people this all the time. My grandparents there lived into their 90s. My grandparents in America passed in their late 70s, early 80s. My grandparents in Africa never went to a doctor before the age of 70. And then even then it was like, say, I remember my dad brought my granddad to the States. The only time he ever been to the States, brought him here to check out with an eye doctor. He hated it. He hated America. It was he was not trying to stay here. He just thought everybody was cold. Yeah, he did not. I don't think he enjoyed it. As soon as he got off the plane, he was done. He was ready to go back right away. I think he stayed about a week and a half, right back. So, yeah, I mean, he didn't speak English either, so that doesn't help. But yeah, he lived to about 105. They say it was 105. So I'm gonna say, I don't know. Back then they didn't really have good records of when a person was born. So he was between I would say for sure between 95 and maybe 108. he never he never seen doctors, bro. And you're in Africa where they say, oh, you got this, you got malaria, you got that, da da da, all this stuff. So I don't know. You tell me, man. How people a lot of people who haven't traveled in America really think that our healthcare system is the best all around. And I'll say in some areas it might be the best. Like if you need an advanced type of surgery or something like that, yeah, they're probably the best, some of the best people at doing those things. If you need brain surgery, heart surgery, some very specific thing like that, yeah, we might be the best at that. But what leads you to need what was the circumstances for you to get there? The circumstances leading up to that point, people don't even get them. Most people don't get them in these other countries. So what are we talking about? Yeah, this is live. This is live. I know it is. It is pretty good quality. Appreciate it. I try. I try. You know what I mean? Try to put something out. Try to put something out at decent quality. I was explaining before, I got my camera software where it can follow me a little bit. So if I move back, you know what I mean? And it readjusts with me. You know, I've had this feature in my cameras. Sony's had this feature for the last 2 years. And every time I try to use it, I'm like, yo, this joint ain't working. And then I was playing with it today. I was like, oh, okay, this is how it worked. So yeah, that's just me being a caveman, I guess. You know? You live and you learn, bro. You live and you learn. You say you disagree with the healthy aspect. Their immune system is stronger due to the bacteria they live around. What we talking about then? So why we got like? Let me ask you this then. Would you rather be exposed to a natural way of being stronger, healthier, living longer, or the way that they made in a lab? Now, there's some things they do in the lab that are definitely beneficial. And we got to thank modern medicine for that. Penicillin is like one of the ones that come to mind. Modern procedures, relatively modern procedures of like washing your hands before you start cutting somebody open. That was a major one that saved a lot of lives, like simple things like that. But, you know, do you want to get a vaccine every year? Like you an iPhone getting an update? Because the data showing, and if you look at history from before, you look at when did videos start coming out. You look at videos of some of the US cities even back in the 50s, 60s, even the 70s, right? They weren't getting a lot of the stuff that they think we're supposed to be administering now. And you look at videos of even places like New York City that were polluted and all that, people still looked healthier. You look at it now, we got 20-year-olds that are bigger than my grandma was when she was 60. My American grandmother, because my African grandmother was never big. I've seen pictures of her when she was younger. She had muscles, bro. I felt like if I had like more of her DNA, I would definitely be in one of the ball leagues. Cause yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it's not a is not a, I'm not breaking down what's best, right? But I'm just telling you what I've seen. I've seen people who are in Africa, you can say bacteria, whatever, all of that stuff. But the end result is people are still, without even trying, outliving people in the West who have all the money, all the modern medicine. And these are people who have similar genes. I mean, I can guarantee you right now, I know this. There are Africans who have migrated to America who have made a lot of money doing all this stuff, living shorter lives than their brothers who are in Africa most of their life. Something's going on, bro. Like there shouldn't even be a question. It shouldn't even be a question of like whose longevity is longer if they say they looking out for us. We got all of this, we paying for all of this stuff, all this attention we paying for over here, and our results are less than people who are not paying anything into healthcare. People need to wake up, or we're gonna keep getting the same results. It's gonna get worse if people don't start realizing they've been taken advantage of for a long time. It's gonna get a lot worse and much faster. That's how the scammers work, bro. If you don't catch them, if you don't hold them accountable, they gonna double up on you. That's my message to all my people here in America, bro. It's funny too, like we're coming up on the 250-year anniversary. 250-year anniversary of the United States of America, right? Kim Burns put out a special on PBS, I think a few weeks ago, and it's free. I think you got to watch it in parts, right? But they talk about the American Revolution and all that stuff. And he actually, you think you know about the American Revolution. You don't. You don't know. You don't know the full story. Anybody that says, "Oh yeah, I know about all that," like you watch that joint and you're gonna find out a lot of things. I mean, you might know the general story, but if you're an adult, you learn about the general overall theme of what happened during the Revolutionary War. And I never studied American history in university, so maybe people who study at university know other parts of it. But there's parts that he was uncovering that aren't being taught anywhere. And it's when you pay attention to the documentary, you can see why they wouldn't want to teach it, because it's actually a real gangster story. That's what it is. It's a real rebellion gangster story. From George Washington, everything he was about, some of the battles, everything, they go in on it. And he goes in on some of the details that were previously unknown or glazed over, so to speak. Anyway, all that GMO in America food, basic tomatoes, sugar cane from Africa tastes better and healthier than the American produce. Yeah, man. I was, when I go to South America sometimes and I come back, I'm like, dang, man, I wish I could. I remember I came back one time and I had some avocados. My people's got them from Costco or something. I remember I tasted it. I was like, yo, what the hell? This joint tastes like straight rubber. I was like, what? Like how? I just had avocados 2 days ago in Colombia, wherever place I was at. I like joint tasted nice and textured, you could, you consumed it and you felt like, dang, I'm good for the next few hours. Like literally, I was thinking just avocado on toast. But you get avocado toast here at some place, and it felt like a gas bomb they put in you. Like felt like the avocado paste was full of water or something. Didn't feel didn't feel good at all. Let me tell you that. And it's just a lot of stuff like that. You're just like, traveling exposes you to these things, and you come back to our country where we've paid into the system over your life. If you've been here, if you worked a job where they take taxes out of your check, you've worked a job, you've been paying into this, and we're getting worse results than in places where I don't know how they're funding any organizations to look after their food. I think they have good food, and if they don't have good produce, people don't eat it. Those people go out of business, right? Places like Colombia, very good produce. Places like Brazil, same. It's funny, but I was in Europe one year, went down to Africa, and I don't even know what I ate. I don't think I ate anything in particular, but I just remember feeling great. I was leaving Europe during the winter, went down to Africa during, I think it was November, December, like that. And I just remember I was just feeling great. And the only thing I can really put my finger on is the fact that I was just getting more sun, vitamin D. If you tune in to me talking before on some of these lives, I've talked about that, but that is real. Getting the sun is a form of medicine, kills bacteria, kills viruses, helps you produce vitamin D. I believe it helps you produce testosterone within 2 days of getting enough sun. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else it does, but it got to do a lot. I mean, it's the sun. If you want to talk about the direct physical connection to a God or a higher power, that's it. Because it's that one thing. Without it, everything stops here. Everything stops. If that thing imploded right now, even though it's nighttime here, and it just stayed night for 2 more days, everything would just stop running on this planet. The oceans wouldn't be working right. The air would get foul real fast. And I think it'd be like another, who knows? I mean, the scientists have a model for how long it would take, but I don't know if they're 100% accurate either. I think things would fall very fast. Anyway. I read the journals of the people who they simplify. What are we talking about? Journals of what people? Oh, you talking about the American Revolution? Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, man. Let me see. I feel like I feel like my chat here is not 100% up to speed. There's a little bit of lag, but it's all good. Y'all can still hear me. So let me ask y'all, what countries would y'all go to if you could right now, this time of year? Oh, a lot of medical journals, yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, so back on the travel thing, what would y'all travel if you could right now? Let me put that up in I need to start trying to do these, what do you call it? Polls. Let's see if I can put a poll in here. Oh no, that's not it. That's not what we're trying to do. I might play around with this a little bit. Maybe show y'all some footage of some places that y'all might have seen the video, but you didn't see all the video I have from some of these places. Let me see if I can find something. Make sure it's fit for TV. It's PG. No, all my stuff is good to go. Let me see. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, I got some some decent stuff I need to try to work out. Let me try this right quick. Let me see what this looks like. Let's see what this looks like if it shows up good. Oh yeah. This is Patagonia. I don't know why it's playing so slow though. That lake was pretty good, man. It's funny. This is a lake. It moves like an ocean. You're looking at it, the waves and everything. You're like, dang, that could be an ocean. And this is the footage in log format, so it's not fully colored. But yeah, man, these are places. Scenes like this, I could use this, man. I could use this right here. This right here is the type of footage that I could use and then just talk over. It's like my own personal B-roll. So you can use B-roll. You can, from stock websites, whatever. But I got it on hand. I don't need to be connected to the internet. I know where it's at. I know the conditions. I know the weather. Might even have some sound behind it that I can use for part of it. Stuff like that. Okay. We got some locations coming in. Let me. Right now, I'd like to go back to Morocco. Morocco's on my list, man. Morocco's on my list. I think this might be a good time of year to be there too, because I think it's not hot there. It's not cold. I think it might be jacket, jean weather in most parts of Morocco. Let's look it up. Let's go ahead and look up Morocco then. Let's get this out of here. Let's look it up. New tab. Well, we gotta do a new tab, man. We do this. Hold on. Let's do this. So we're gonna share this, but we're going to get out of there and see what the weather in Morocco is like. Weather. Inside of, nope. No, we're not there. Why is Joy talking about that location? We're gonna do weather in Morocco. Moroccan weather. $52 degrees. It's raining though. Yeah, I've been to Tunisia this time of year. It wasn't, it was colder than I thought it should be. Colder than I thought it should be. Scandinavia and experience of snow and cold weather looks good. I don't know, man. I don't know. We had some snow here. Wasn't Scandinavian type snow. The thing about Scandinavia, those places are really far up north. And this time of year, it doesn't get daylight until like 8:30 a.m. and it's dark by 4. I was in Estonia one time during December, and that's exactly what it was, bro. It was dark by 4:20. It was dark. You couldn't tell no difference between 4:30 and 11 p.m. So it's like you get up, you eat. If you get up a little early and you eat breakfast, it's gonna be dark. Now I'll say this: that environment can be good if you want to focus. Like if you want to, let's say you just did really want to bear down and focus on some type of work you can do online on your computer, in your room or whatever, and you're not going out too much, but you're still going to have the need to go out. And when you do get off of your stuff and you want to go outside and it's cold like it be, you got to be really intentional when you go outside. You got to plan how you're going to go outside. You got to get ready. You got to spend like at least 30 minutes getting ready, putting on layers to go outside. Then when you go outside, everybody is doing the same thing. So they just going the way they got to go. They ain't trying to spend time talking, opening up their mouth, losing precious heat. I remember it was so cold one morning I was out there. It was like, dang, bro, I feel like your teeth about to crack out here. Man. So people ain't smiling for no reason. they not quick to smile in some of those really cold places at this time of year. But once it warms up during the springtime, the people there, their attitudes blossom like flowers and everything. Everybody's out doing they enjoying that sun when it come out. So yeah, Morocco 52, not too bad, but not too great either. I just put Morocco, but it says choose area. Let's choose the area. What? This thing wants to. Let's say Calabash, Moroccan weather. 53. Gets up to 61 Saturday. So not that big of a range, only 10 degrees difference between middle of the day and night. Looks like 61, 65 is like their high this time of year. So yeah, jacket weather. Might have a few nights where it gets a little bit chilly. Nothing too crazy though. Maybe we should check out the YouTubes of it. Let me see. I'm still logged in too. Let's go Morocco. Calabash. What's that town that everybody parties at? Casablanca? Mm-hmm. What we got here? Let me see. Hold up. Get this comment off of here. A little big. The Mediterranean, Tunisia. You said, hold up. You said, is it racist as the reviews? What? Morocco? Man, every place can be racist. Or you can interpret it as being racist. Marrakesh, that's where I should be looking. Okay. Marrakesh. All right, let's look at Marrakesh. My worst decision, traveling to Morocco. I don't like clicking on stuff like that because it's just clickbaity. You know what I mean? Let's see what we got here. 3 perfect days, 34 minutes. Mm-hmm. Okay, this looks like a nice little intro going on. Let's click on that joint. See what's happening. You don't hear anything yet? See what's happening.
What's up, guys? We're here in Marrakesh, Morocco, and in this video, we're going to show you the best things to do in and around the city. We're also going to sprinkle in some travel tips to help keep you safe and have the best trip possible. So hope you enjoy the video. We're going to show you the best things to do in and around the city. We're also going to sprinkle in some travel tips to help keep you safe and have the best trip possible. So hope you enjoy the video. Best things to do in and around the city.
Okay, that reverb is coming through. Hold on. Let me do that. Okay. Let me go back to that tab.
The bustling city of Marrakesh is located in the center of Morocco. With its vibrant colors, buzzing atmosphere, mix of tradition and modernity, and aromatic smells, it's a city like no other. Marrakesh truly stimulates all of your senses at once.
Market is cool, but watch out.
In this video, we'll highlight the best things to do in and around this UNESCO World Heritage City. Now let's dive in.
I think that's how it works with these. If you do a video like this, you have to, every once in a while, you got to pause it just to, oh, and they got a commercial going. So let's just jump across. I've never watched a video with my audience like this. It might be cool, man. It might be something
The
to
Medina is the old city of Marrakesh, entirely encircled by light pink walls.
The world together.
It's the heart of the city,
get these captions
packed with
here.
shops, traditional houses called riads, restaurants, and many of the historic sites.
Y'all can
To learn all about the Medina and the local life in Marrakesh, we recommend going on a walking tour of the city on your first day here. It's a great way to become familiar with the labyrinth of alleyways, as well as the local customs. The tour also takes you to corners that you likely wouldn't be able to find yourself, such as the workshops of the souks. Find a link to the tour that we did in the description below. One of the nice things about the city is that it's pretty compact. It's easy to get around places by walking. But you should be careful crossing the streets, because even if there's a crosswalk, it's not guaranteed that these cars are going to stop for you. So wait for your moment and you should be good.
Yeah, that's in a lot of countries, man. A lot of countries, if you don't pay attention to what's going on with the cars, they will run you over. Or I won't say run you over, but you'll definitely get tapped. Yeah, this place right here, that the overview they got, Google Maps right there, that marketplace looks like when it's fully occupied, it can be chaotic with vendors and sellers and buyers and people transporting goods in and out. It looks empty right there, but let's see when they're on the ground, let's see what it looks like.
Morocco in general is known for its delicious, unique cuisine that you can't find anywhere else in the world.
Right.
Some staples that you have to try include couscous, meat brochettes, and the most iconic dish of all, tagine, which usually includes some kind of meat, like chicken, beef, or lamb, that is left to simmer and slow cooked with herbs, spices, and other ingredients, such as dates, potatoes, and vegetables.
Hold up, wasn't we just talking about how where's my dang cursor at? I'm trying to get my cursor at. Weren't we just talking about how you other places the food is better? We were just talking about that. And that right there, is going to be very little contaminants that are non-natural. I mean, you might, you might have some parasites in there, but you ain't gonna have no GMO chemicals in there. Parasites, we don't want them either, but there's a lot of ways of getting rid of parasites. from ivermectin to milk thistle to other natural remedies. So, but yeah, I mean, overall though, you're going to get, you're going to have better quality food when it comes to the simple things, especially if they always are doing those things. So that's why me, for instance, I'm not a big foodie. I don't need to try a lot of different things. I go to a place, I want to eat what the locals are eating, preparing often, because they know how to make it. They're experts at that. If all you're eating, let's say you go to a place and they're eating lamb, which might be a little different than other places, but that's all they're eating is lamb, then they know what good lamb meat looks like, bad lamb meat looks like. They know how old it should be, how long it can sit out, all of this stuff. They know how to prepare it properly. They know what to cook it with, what spices go good with it. If y'all eating that 310 days out of the 365 days in the year, I'm going to eat it when I'm here too. That's what I'm doing. All right, let's get back to the video. Let's see. Oh, I got to play it over here.
Most restaurants are located near the main square of Jamalfina, and you can find personal recommendations in our blog post. But don't shy away from the street food stalls, as they offer a delicious and affordable selection of sandwiches and pastries, as well as freshly squeezed juice and more exotic dishes.
So you was there for a wedding and did a lot of touring and walking. That's good. Paris, train rides to Nice, ended in Geneva. Never been to Geneva.
You can't leave Marrakesh without visiting one of its historic sites. The Saadian tombs are a 16th century burial ground of the Saadian dynasty, which ruled over Marrakesh between 1524 and 1668. The mausoleums are beautifully decorated and are set amidst a garden. The tombs were walled up by the following ruler to keep his predecessors out of sight and mind, and was only rediscovered in the early 20th century when aerial photography exposed it. If you think this historic spot has beautiful designs, wait until we show you the palaces in just a moment.
Nice little structure to that video. Maybe I should start doing something like this where you it's a little different though, but I definitely think, incorporating Google Maps to a video would help out from time to time. I don't know, it's a little bit more work a lot of times. And, but I think, it looks like they found a little flow. They talk about something for a few minutes and they got it bookmarked off and they hit their different spots. How long is this video? 14 minutes, I think. So yeah.
Marrakesh is known for its beautiful gardens, and Majorelle Gardens might be the most famous one. Located in Marrakesh's new town, these lush botanical gardens are filled with cacti, palms, and other colorful trees, offering a true escape from the hustle and bustle of the city. It was originally created by artist Jacques Morel, who lived in this garden and villa complex. It was later purchased by the famous fashion designers Yves Saint Laurent and Pierre Berger, who restored it. Today, it's open to the public, and some of the houses have been converted into museums.
The Jewish Quarter. Okay. So, yeah, I'm noticing too with these guys, it looks like they're doing, let me see how this looks like when I split the screen like this. I wonder how it looks for my vertical viewers. Let me see right quick. Oh, okay. Damn. Actually, how does that work out? Huh. Interesting. I was going to say though, but I like their way of doing this, and it's a lot of narration, heavy on narration. That's probably what I should do with some of my unused footage, is go back to it and talk about the scene relevant to where it is, and then go in with the visuals. I don't know about incorporating Google Maps, maybe, but a lot more work if I'm just trying to get stuff out.
The Malache, or Jewish Quarter in Marrakesh, is another interesting area to visit. Located near the beautiful palaces that we'll discuss at numbers 4 and 3, this quarter was once home to a sizable Jewish
All the herbs
population.
look fresh, man.
And while most of the Jewish residents have now left this area, there are still a number of Jewish places here, including the synagogue, the Jewish cemetery, and the spice market.
I think this
This
couple is
place will
Jewish.
tickle your taste buds with a wide range of Moroccan spices, herbs, and herbal teas. Marrakesh is known for its traditional souks, which are basically markets or bazaars. In the past, a souk was an area where merchants passed through the city and traded goods. As such, you can find them in different corners inside and outside of the Medina. What makes the souks in Marrakesh remarkable is the wide variety of exotic items that you can buy, such as babouches, lanterns, ceramics, carpets, and leather goods. Most of the popular souks can be found next to the main square, and we put a graphic here on the screen with the names.
What? Dang, they went ahead and put the graphics on? Okay. Suka, okay. I guess if you really you're really interested in the souks, this would be useful.
We also left a link in the description where you can find directions to each souk.
When you walk through the souks, you will notice that a lot of the vendors will talk to you, trying
Oh, let me see what type of camera he had right there. I think I saw him with gotta give respect to the cameraman, man. Pretty good
When
image.
you walk through the souks, you will notice that a
I can't tell.
lot of the vendors will talk to you, trying to get you into their shop. But if you don't want to buy anything, just say shukran, thank you, and just walk away.
Shukran.
And if you do want to buy something, make sure to bargain, because usually the price that they will offer is a little bit
Shukran and
higher. So haggle
inshallah.
down and make sure that what you pay in the end
That's all
is
I know.
comfortable for you.
What else I know in Arabic? I know dang, what's the greeting? Come on, y'all know what it is. The greeting, the Arabic greeting, Muslim or it's in Arabic. Assalamu alaikum, malaikum assalam. I think those are the 4 phrases I can say in Arabic. I try.
The Saadian ruler Al-Mansur, who was buried in the Saadian tombs we discussed earlier, also had built a grand palace in the 16th century. And although it stands largely in ruins today, it's
Yeah, I
easy
like-
to take
I
a
like-
journey back in time
I like the
and imagine the
imagery they got
beauty it
here.
once had.
I don't
Step
think
foot inside, and you'll see its
I was gonna say, I
grandeur,
don't think he's working
with
with a
mosaic
Sony or
tiled
any like.
floors, ruined
No,
pavilions, and
extra-
high enclosed ceilings.
If it is a Sony, it's probably
Make
older
sure
one.
to go to the top of the walls, where you can
Right.
take in the views of the palace from above, as well as across the
Got
Medina.
a filter on there to block out because shots like this in a place like that, I could tell, like, if you don't have a filter on, your imagery will be blowed up. But like that right there, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's good stuff right there. If you can add it into the story, it hits harder. By itself, if with no story, it just looks pretty. There's nothing to it, but but you can't get that imagery. You can't get footage like that looks like that with a phone or action camera, stuff like that. So if you get your storytelling skills going a little bit and you got some editing skills going, then you can make it work. And I appreciate that. This right here, even still shot.
After El Batieh Palace, it might be interesting to see the contrast with the beautiful Bahia Palace,
And they're
which was
mixing
built in
in
the
the-
late 19th century.
Okay, I see what's going on now. I see they definitely are going places, getting good shots intentionally. And I've done this in Thailand. I remember doing this, but I just didn't piece it together and edit like that. But they're And it's much easier when you have a team of 2 people doing it, where you can go around and get shots with the action camera. Then you got the mirrorless or DSLR or whatever, and you're getting still intentional shots that are they just feel better.
The interior decoration combines colorful tiles, painted ceilings, and ornate wrought iron features that showcase a lavish lifestyle. The beautiful courtyards with banana leaf plants and trees are a tranquil break from the buzzing city.
I think I need about 2 weeks in a French-speaking place to get it back up to speed, to tell you the truth. Okay, what's he working with? Dang, I keep missing the camera. I ain't gonna rewind it though.
If you want a true escape from the noise of the city and would like to experience some of Morocco's finest nature, we recommend going on a day trip to the Ousout waterfalls. With a height of 110 meters or 360 feet, these are the tallest waterfalls in the country. A day tour from Marrakesh allows you to spend around 4 hours at the falls, which is plenty of time to hike down to the river, take in the beauty, do a short boat ride to get closer to the falls, and then hike up again. There are many restaurants with a stunning viewpoint as well on your way towards the exit. And as a bonus, you'll also encounter many macaque monkeys who call this place home. We really enjoyed this day tour, and we left a link to the one that we joined in the description below. If you have more time to spare than just a day, we also recommend venturing to the High Atlas region and the desert.
Let's go back. Let me see. I ain't messing with that monkey. Let me see.
To the one that we joined in the description below.
This one right here, he tired of everybody, man. He like, if one of y'all come one step closer, I'm gonna rip somebody's face off.
If you have more time to spare than just a day, we also recommend venturing to the High Atlas region and the desert.
Like that.
You'll need at least a few days to really enjoy these unique landscapes.
Animals out there in the
and
wild,
we explain all about it in our full Morocco video.
Got a little desert music going.
Finally, you can't leave Marrakesh without visiting its beating heart, the Jemaa el Fna Square. It's the hub of entertainment, with a variety of food and juice stalls, musicians, fortune tellers, henna tattoo artists, and snake charmers.
Nice. Yeah, I'm keeping away from the snake. That joint looks fake, right? Look how shiny his bottom is. Oh, yeah,
the square really comes to life in the evening and can be a bit overwhelming for some people because of its loud noise and large crowds. An evening spent here wandering around is a truly Moroccan experience.
Yeah, that'd be good.
To escape the chaos, you can head to one of the rooftop cafes next to the square that offer panoramic views.
Time lapse.
Don't forget to check out the Koutabia Mosque, which can be found right next to the square. It's Marrakesh's most famous landmark, with its large minaret that is visible from every direction. There are a few things to do in Marrakesh that we didn't mention, and we've included a list of those on the screen here for you. If you're planning your Morocco trip, we recommend keeping things organized with our interactive travel planner. Find a discount code below. We also included important links that you'll need for your Marrakesh trip in the description, such as a full travel guide of where to stay and where to eat, as well as directions to get to each spot that we mentioned. We'll catch you on the next adventure.
Not bad, man. Not bad. It's funny, man. Like they got that thing going on there, but it's it's always some see what the comments are saying. Yeah. Marrakesh is an amazing city. Yeah, that's dope, man. It's dope. I definitely want to visit Morocco, not just Marrakesh, but a few other places as well. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's let me see something right quick. Let me get this. Remove that, and then okay. Trying to see what other videos I can throw in here. Yeah, I went to a spot in this bookstore in Argentina. See if I throw that in. Maybe a bookstore. A well-known bookstore people go to in Argentina. Take video of that place. I got I can make a video just on this spot. I met a young lady a little bit before this, and then I was like, "So what are you doing?" She's like, "I'm about to go see this place." I'm like, "Oh, okay. How far is that?" She's like, "It's over here." You want to go? I was like, "All right, cool. Let's go." It was between my broken Spanish and her broken English. We figured it out and went over there. But also another, yeah, it is. It's pretty gorgeous bookstore. It's funny too because it's so popular that it's not quiet. You know, a bookstore like this, it would be nice if you could just go there and find a quiet corner and just read a book. But I don't think that's going on there. Like it's more of like a, people like me in there taking video. I try to be as respectful as possible. People walk by. I'm not blocking people. We weren't speaking a lot while we were in there, but I don't think people expect you to be that quiet in that bookstore. It's not a library, but still. Let me see what else. What other stuff do I have here from that bookstore? Okay, let me see. Yeah, so that's a better view. We're trying to set up over there. I don't know what she's doing with the camera. Oh man, I gotta go through this footage. Haven't even looked at this stuff in a minute. That's a nice thumbnail though. Maybe get that in the background. Yeah, that can be useful. A lot less hair on my head. That's the struggle fro right there. That's the short struggle fro.
Permiso, por favor. Gracias.
Now it's like, man, I gotta struggle to keep my thing from being totally blowed out. What else we got? So this is Argentina, Buenos Aires. When I think about it, I still have a lot of stuff to show from Argentina. Argentina wouldn't be a bad place to visit right now either. This summer's starting. I never went to the beach town there. Good morning. Oh, you're new. I've never seen you here in the chat before, but welcome. If you're into travel, this is the place to be. One of the places to be. Appreciate the emojis from India. Okay. That's what's up. Yeah, make that bookstore video if you get time. Like you were. I was auditioning for the Black Panther movie. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know what I'd be doing half the time. I'd just be in the place with a camera, filling it. Like, all right, let's film this. It might be corny. It might be cringe. I don't care. We here right now. This is our space and time. You know, however messed up it may be, we doing it. As long as our intention is good, that's all that really matters. That's the only thing I care about, is that the basic intention is good. That's it. Let me see what else we got. Let's see. Let me throw something else in there. So we in that bookstore. Oh, why is it not? What happened? Hold on. Hold on. What's going on with that comment? What? I don't know. Them emojis you got going on are a little different for me. Okay, video file. That's what I hit the wrong thing. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, this is another good one right here. Let me check it out right quick. Yeah, I like this. You're right, man. I do need a emoji. Yeah. I can slow that thing down a little bit, put a little stabilization on it. I don't know who that girl is waving, who she waving at right there in the middle. I don't think I noticed that before. That's crazy. I never even noticed that girl waving in the middle. Hello. Hey. We in the future now, but good seeing you back there. Yeah. Where am I from? I'm from Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C. So we call this area the DMV, D.C., Maryland, Virginia. Oh man, I think we might have a troll. Do we got a troll? You trolling me? This is not cool in a live stream chat. Miss, if you would miss, I don't know, you might be somebody else, but we gotta keep an eye on you now. So unless you meant come to your country and do some videos, that might be a thing. But yeah, there's a lot going on with a lot of places I've been, and the footage that is unused. So a lot of times it's good for me to look at videos of other people online and get inspired, get ideas. The name of this live was travel and creation, and how they can affect each other. And they do. I do feel personally that when I travel, my creativity, if it doesn't go up, it alters to a degree. Like you're more open to ideas, because you have to adapt anyway when you're in a new place, even if it's just being used to hearing Spanish or French or whatever the language is in that place, right? You got to break away from your normal routine. Even you used to going to this coffee shop or doing this thing, getting in your car, going there. Now you can't do that. You got to do something a little different. You're already starting to be creative just in your normal actions when you're outside of your home environment. The more foreign, the more taxing you have to be, the more creative you have to be in certain ways. So like Asia is a lot different than if you're from the States and you just go to Canada. Yeah, it's a new place, but they speak, if you go into Toronto, for instance, they speak English, A lot of the setup of the city is very familiar. So you might not have to fire up all your neurons that you would if you go to a place. Let's say you've never been to Asia, and you go to a place like Japan, Thailand, or wherever, especially Japan, because there's not a lot of English speaking people there. And you go there, you're going to have to be on it, you know? So I do believe it's good for creativity. Is it necessary? No, it ain't necessary to be creative. But for somebody like me, it definitely helps break the ice. You know, it's like travel is more like taking a hammer to, I would say, the more stubborn ways of thinking. Like you're just beating on it with a hammer because you have to adjust when you travel. Versus if I stay in the same place and I want to be creative, it's kind of like I'm trying to place things. I don't know. My analogy might not be the best, but it's how I feel. It's a lot harder to be creative, you know, on a different level, on a big level, than when you travel. Although I'll say this, after you've done it for a while and you come back, you can be in the same place for a while and you just get, sometimes a comfortable environment can help you to experiment more with some creative things. So I noticed that too. I do respect that as well. But yeah, this place is kind of cool, man. And that's another thing. Like this footage is a year old, and sometimes for me, I've noticed I'll take footage and I can't really finish it all up. I can't piece it together because it's still kind of fresh. I'm still there at that place. I'm still moving around that location. I'm still trying to build new stories there. And there's no space. I'm too close to the book to read it. I gotta bring it back. It needs some time for me to absorb it. I think that's the case with a lot of these. Let me see. Get rid of this one. Or remove from studio. Yeah, there we go. I've been to Virginia once when I was in ROTC in high school. Very cool place. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Virginia. I mean, Virginia is a big state too. It's not a small place. If you're talking about Northern Virginia versus like Virginia Beach, all of that, a lot different. But yeah. And that's a lot of states are like that in the United States. There's North Carolina, for instance. Most part that people would know would probably be Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham. But then you got places like Asheville that I still haven't been to that I want to go to. But it's way out west, close to Tennessee. It's not and you know what's funny is like I've been to Tennessee, like Memphis, obviously I've been there before multiple times. It's cool. It was cool last time I was there. I don't know. I heard the crime has gotten really crazy over the last couple of years. Probably been like 5 years or more since I was there. More than 5 years. But I was in Nashville probably a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. Nashville is cool. Most of the time when I was going to Nashville, I was like driving from East Coast to West Coast. So I'd stop. That'd be like my first stop after leaving the DC area, be Nashville. Yeah, man. Alexandria, Baltimore, DC. Yep. It's all, you know, you got Silver Spring, Tacoma Park, Tyson's Corner. You know, you gotta round out the DMV area. Northwest. I would say Northwest DC and Southwest DC probably have some of the nicest areas. Northeast got some nice areas now, and then Southeast is building up when you're close to South Capitol Street. Now, as soon as you go across the Anacostia River, you know what I mean? Like it gets a little gets a little shaky over there. But I have seen them, they are developing over there as well. But Southeast is still, parts of it is still wild, I would say. I mean, maybe right now, since the National Guard has been out, it's less active. But yeah, Southeast is not historically not the place to be messing around or exploring without knowing what you're doing. Yeah, Adams Morgan for nightlife. Yeah. But even Georgia Ave, Northwest Silver Spring, that's been building up too. It feels like that Silver Spring area on Georgia Ave is turning into I haven't been to Adams Morgan in years, but it feels like that area in Silver Spring is turning into a mini Adams Morgan. You know, Adams Morgan's still going to be the spot just because it's been like that for so long. But that's my opinion. I don't know. Some people might be, tell you what you talking about, man. You don't know what you're talking about. I do know what I'm talking about from my perspective. Calm down. You know, people in the DMV, they get uptight about all kind of stuff, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's the only thing that I don't miss about the area is people are, and I guess I could be like that too. But when all of us are together and everybody's uptight, taking themselves so seriously and everything, it don't work out. It ain't a good environment to be in. But yeah, there's a lot of good things going on in the area for sure. Yeah, Georgetown is overrated. Georgetown is, if you want to spend a lot of money, you go to Georgetown. There's some good stuff to see. Actually, hold on, let me see. I got some shots from Georgetown. Let me see. I'll show y'all a little something I was working on from Georgetown. If I can, I gotta see which hard drive it's on though. Hold on. To unplug this, boop. And then go directly in with, is it this one? We are experimenting for real. But you know what? I got everything set up where it's comfortable enough where I can do all that right now. So let's see. Nope, that's the wrong file, wrong hard drive. So unplug that. Tell you what, man, we need to figure out, technology needs to get to a point where we can do something about this hard drive dilemma. If you are a YouTuber, travel YouTuber especially, you cannot delete footage, my friend. You have to keep it on a hard drive. So you keep it on a hard drive. I mean, you could say you're going to download them to another less expensive hard drive and all this stuff. What ends up happening is you buy solid state hard drives, which aren't cheap. And then you just have to keep the footage there. You might make a copy of it, put it somewhere else on an older spinning hard drive, but yeah, it's a lot of buying of hard drives. That is one of the costs being a travel YouTuber. Flights, hotels, equipment, cameras. Trying to see if whoever's in the hallway is going crazy or not with all the doors slamming. Oh man, that's how you know when you're in a really good hotel, when you don't hear nothing from outside your door. And you know what? Most of the good ones I've been at are outside the US. It's like the US is real good at like the basics, giving you space and stuff like that. And I'm gonna just rant on this for a second. But what I don't like, another thing I don't like about hotels in the US is I like dogs, right? But I don't want to see dogs in the hotel I'm staying in. So because what's the cleaning protocol that you're doing for those dogs? When they've been in the room, are they sleeping on the couch? Are they defecating in the room because you wanted to go out and do some sightseeing and leave your dog there, be lazy, and you come back and it done took one, lay one down on the carpet or on the couch, and then you try to clean it up somewhat. Don't tell housekeeping about it. I mean, people are already nasty enough anyway with hotels, but then you throw in people with their dogs. It's like, come on, man, stop it. We going too far with all this stuff. I'm almost willing to pay more for a hotel that does not allow pets. No pets? Cool, I'm there. You've never allowed pets? Cool, I'm there. Because it's just crazy, man. People are, I don't know. I was going to pull up some footage, though, of something here in the DMV, Georgetown. I'll show y'all some Georgetown footage, if I can find it. I got it here. Hold up. All right, hold on. It's coming. If it ain't Georgetown footage, I got something else that's just as good. See this? What's this? Hold up. Oh, there's some good footage too here. This is over by I think the Georgetown footage is on another hard drive, but I got some other DC footage of the wharf. If y'all know what that is, let's see. Damn, that thing is not moving. But that's the new, they just completed this bridge not too long ago. Or they revamped it, whatever, going to Anacostia or crossing the Anacostia River. Damn, this footage plays really, really bad on here from what I'm seeing. Let me see. Find another file. Let's try this one. Yeah, look at this footage, man. This is on the wharf, by the wharf. Ladies look, probably part of the Ethiopian community. Large community here in the DC area. I've had I think some people think I'm Ethiopian. I've had that happen before where I'm at I was in a Whole Foods Ethiopian lady was working there. And she started talking to me in American. I was like, "Oh, okay. Excuse me, I don't understand American." And then she kept saying something to me. I was like, I was looking at her to make sure she had no headphones in. I was like, "Oh, I'm not Ethiopian. Sorry." She was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, so I noticed also. Oh yeah, I did a little impromptu photo shoot with this. I think it was this girl. Yeah, she's from Azerbaijan, I believe. We did a few little photos or something like that. Right there. Just trying things out, man. This was kind of cool about having a camera, and sometimes you get people who will work with you, and in return you give them a few photos. Kind of cool. Nothing major. Let me see. Dang, it's still early though. I'm thinking it's late. It's not even 8 o'clock. See what else we got. What other photos, video we got? Yeah, man. So sometimes you just want to do some video, you just see some stuff and take some video, man. This is by the wharf in DC. But yeah, all of that was, in log format, not colored anything. So still needs to be worked on, still needs to be edited. Your boy hair is getting wild in some places. Cool. So I don't know, man. We how long is this? 2 hours. Damn, I was trying to keep it under 2 hours, because if I want to generate AI clips, I got to keep it under 2 hours. Dang. I guess I can edit it down. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, this is a good trial. I mean, unless y'all got some more questions, this is a good trial using this feature on the camera that I may start using more often. And this setup here where I got this this other screen set up, so it makes it a little bit easier for me to monitor versus trying to do everything on one screen. But yeah, it's cool, man. Like I said, I like the fact that this thing moves around with me. You know what I mean? The AI gods are with us. It's pretty responsive too, right? Like if I look here, I got the crop level up high. Let me see if I walk away and come back in. Let me see. If I come back in, what'd it do? Is it gonna lock on? Oh, it ain't gonna lock on. Oh, there you go. There you go. Found me. I like that, man. I like that. Yeah. So then once it locks on to me, gets me, and this is all software. This is not any mechanical gimbal, camera stand put, No extra gear for this one. Although the gimbal with that accessory, DJI has a gimbal that can actually move around and follow you. The only problem with that is it won't zoom in, which I think the zoom in function is actually pretty cool when it understands what's going on. It feels like this understands, feels like it understands what's going on a bit more. So I have to start using this. I wonder if you combine this with the gimbal, would it do the same action, or would it sometimes you use something like a gimbal with a feature like this and they fight against each other, then you just get a way worse image. So I wonder if that's the case. Gonna have to experiment, see some things, but this is what I think we need to do more of, is lives like this. Maybe shorter, more to the point, but giving you a decent subject to go over. Maybe me coming in with more files, more videos and things like that. And then just, keeping the visuals decent, entertaining. Yeah. But y'all let me know what you think. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this live up. I don't think it'll be not that I want to hide anything like that, but I don't know if this will be useful material to stay up and to watch as a replay. So, but what will be useful is if any of you that are in here right now, especially if you're new to my channel, go through and check all the other stuff I've been doing. From Argentina was about last year, but with Argentina, I got something on Costa Rica coming out probably tomorrow. Some of the stuff on DC and Canada, like, it's funny. For me, the stuff in North America doesn't really get a lot of views. The stuff I did in Africa too doesn't really get a lot of views. I guess, people aren't really interested in it right now. At least not the way I'm doing it. But my more popular stuff is Colombia and Brazil. Some of the stuff in Argentina, and then Lima, Peru. For me, has been doing pretty good. I think some of the videos I lucked out on with timing. One from the airport, the new airport, was pretty popular because I actually just lucky enough to be flying out the day that they open a new extension to the airport. And then also met some people, made a video of that. Met a friend who, we did a few videos together, and we'll probably do some more in the future. She has a really good attitude about going out and doing things, and then she's good to look at on camera too, so that I lucked up there. What else? Yeah, I don't know, man. When I really think about it, as far as a place I felt good and has YouTube potential, Peru's just hitting all around. It's just hitting from every side, and all my experience has been in Lima. Oh, we got another question right here. My fault. Did you see the controversy with the YouTuber in Brazil this week? Yeah, man, I saw it. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that he would even go that route. That's not the type of activities you want to be involved in. But, to tell you the truth is, I was in the military before, the Navy, and you would see people do the dumbest things in countries that you're like, what is going on, bro? You just, so I'm not new to hearing about, especially young American men doing wild shit overseas. Some of it, you know, it always is a black eye to Americans in general, you know. But at the same time, a lot of these countries, you think about a country like Brazil, the amount of foreign tourists they get, the amount of American tourists they get, they know 99% of the tourists that are visiting do not cause problems. I mean, if we're hearing about this one incident, I mean, there's more incidents that have happened with other Americans in Brazil for sure that we don't hear about. But with all that being said, ask a Brazilian, do they think all Americans are up to no good? They gonna say hell no. Like y'all got some fucked up people. Like we got fucked up people. Everybody does. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It's a stain on Americans in general, American tourists. But overall, it's not gonna mean anything. I think a lot of people are blowing it out of proportion as far as how it's going to affect the broader community. But when it boils down to it, a lot of these countries that seek a lot of revenue from tourism and stuff like that, there's a lot more crimes going on against tourists than tourists are committing in these countries. I would say it's almost tenfold the other way. You know what I mean? So some places, that's the only thing that I'm concerned about is when a place has crimes getting committed against foreigners that are obviously coming there to have a good time, to spend their dollars, spend their currency in a place, and crimes are getting committed against them, and that place is not doing anything about it. That's the concerning thing to me. That's the really concerning thing. Because it's like not only is it a person coming with good intentions to have a good time in a place and then getting taken advantage of, even to the point of being killed. And you, the government, who has tons of resources, tons of information, tons of, data, are not even trying to curb it. Or if you are, you're not making it public, which I can see how they can say, oh, we're not making it public because we don't want them to know what we're doing. But at the same time, they kind of know there needs to be consequences if you're doing that type of thing. So I don't know. I feel like the world in general right now, maybe because of our administration and, things going on with it, maybe people interpret that as like, oh, we just looking out for our people. We don't care about people from other countries. Maybe they're using this in the US, the attitude of certain things to justify what they're doing. But if you ask me, it's two totally different issues. We're not talking about keeping out people who are on visitor visas, who are coming over just to, for the most part, from what I understand. But there's a lot of people who visit the United States all the time. And I feel like if they were getting taken advantage of, specifically targeted in our major cities, there would be something happening. So I don't know. Yeah, it's always, whenever you travel, man, a lot of these countries, there's always the crime element. Like I said, most of the time you don't have to worry about Americans committing crimes overseas. Most of the time. Every once in a while, it's definitely going to happen every once in a while. When it does, it's unfortunate, but it's like a drop in the ocean of American tourists that are visiting Brazil specifically. All these years of people visiting Brazil, how many incidences have we really heard of? Very few. Very few. So, actually, when you talk about Americans committing a crime, I think this is the only one I've heard of. And I've been hearing about, the first time I went to Brazil was 2006. So I've been keeping up with, the second time I went was probably 2018, right? So that's a long gap. But since all that time, this is the first time I've ever heard of an American in Brazil committing a crime. I know it's happened. This is the first time I've ever heard about it. Come on, man. Come on, man. Man, we gotta do something about you, man. We gotta do something about you. Yeah, we had to ban my boy. right there for that one. We don't do that type of stuff here, man. Let me see if I bring this back. Dang, you still there? I gotta chill out with the on-screen comments for a minute. But yeah, you're always going to have some bad actors. I don't have any more to say. I don't know dude like that. I'm not really into that type of content either, where you're reacting to bad news. Although it drives traffic. If you want to get a bunch of views, if that's your thing, here's how you check your YouTubers, bro. This is how you check the temperature of the people you're consuming online. If they are always waiting for something bad to happen and then jumping on it and yeah, look what I got. Look what I got. Look at this snake I caught and put it in your face. Check that energy, bro. I ain't doing that to you. I have a certain level of respect for people. And I think in general, if it's something that's, how can I say this? If it's a concern, especially a safety concern, you travel someplace, I'm not going to sugarcoat, for instance, Colombia, there's druggings going on of tourists and stuff like that. You're my audience, right? So if you're going there, I will advise you on that situation as far as what I know. I'm not the news, right? I'm not talking about everything that happens. But if it's something obvious like that, I'll let you know. But if it's just, everyday scare tactics, we got enough of that already. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to, YouTube doesn't need to turn into what mainstream media was doing, or maybe still doing. We don't need that energy. I mean, be informed is one thing, being informed of situations, but beating that dead horse to the ground till 12 feet under the ground, is a little ridiculous, and it shows it doesn't show good character, in my opinion. Not that that's everybody's intention on here. Their intention might be run up the bag on YouTube. Like, man, what you talking about good intentions, Tate, man? Shut your ass up. We over here trying to get this bag. I get it. But you ain't getting that from me. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. But Brazil is a amazing country, man. Overall, it's an amazing country. You can have fun there legally. You can do a lot of things there. Obviously, if you want to get in trouble, there are probably sections of society that'll help you with that. I would advise staying away from it. But it's a beautiful country. Most of the people I've met there have been really good people, willing to show you around, willing to share, the best places of their city or country. Only thing I'll say is sometimes they don't always follow all the way through. Like, you're trying to meet up, but that's in a lot of Latin American countries. You'll get that. You'll get the lack of follow up. So when you find somebody to do follow up, you gotta stick with them for a little while. Colombia too. Colombia is the same in a different way, but I've met some really good people in Colombia. Colombia is different though, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's something about Colombia is, I would say, more dangerous for us as Americans. But there's something about Colombians. I feel like they can read your soul a little bit. I don't know. They have a missing. They plug in spiritually. They plug in better with me. That's what I noticed. It's just like something locks in better with Colombians versus a lot of other places I've been. That could be in my head. It could be, maybe they faking it a little bit. I don't know. But yeah. Peru is just, I would say Peru, it seems like people are easier, more, at least in Lima, people are very, very quick to have conversation with you. A lot of young people are practicing English. They want to actively practice the English. So it's easier to get that surface level conversation going in Peru. Very cool people. Like I said, I think Colombia is just different in a way where it just feels like they lock in at a deeper level very quickly with you. If you connect with somebody, it's going to lock in deep. What is going on here? My phone is buzzing for no reason. So that's my difference there. Argentina feels like Europe for the most part, like a European type of connection, which is some people would consider Europeans cold. I don't. I just see them a little bit more practical. Once you realize that, it's not cold. But I see how people can say that. So, yeah, that's just how it is there. Kind of like in the States. I mean, if you're from, I would say, the DC area or north, the vibe with Europeans should be very similar. Very similar, depending on where you are. There's not a huge learning curve there. What else? Africans are the opposite of Europeans. Like, you might You might think you're locked in. You might think you're spiritually connected with somebody, but that's just how they are. You know what I mean? You might be getting played on a very polite level. At least in West Africa. Africa's a big place, so I can't speak for East Africa, Central Africa, all that. But West Africa, you know, you can get, you'll have very nice people, and then some people who will give you attitude right from jump, who will be assholes, you know. I got some video of that somewhere of we walking through a market in Lomé, and I'm filming this guy. They're making tomato paste with this machine. I'm filming it. I'm filming this guy making tomato paste. This lady who's over there is like, oh, no camera. I'm like, oh, ain't nobody filming you. Stay over there. I ain't filming you. I'm right here with dude. What you doing? Talking about. And then all the rest of the dudes were like, now, you know what? I was like, all right, you know what? Oh yeah, I ain't filming. And then the dude's like, oh, no, you good, film. I'm like, nah. Y'all try to get that CFI out of me, which is the currency. I'm like, no, I'm good. You know what I mean? And they, you know, things like that. I'll say this, Lomé should be a pretty good tourist destination. It's coming up. It's leveling up, but slowly compared to Ghana, you know, but Lomé has amazing beaches. Like they're right there. Don't think you're going to be doing a bunch of swimming in there because that water will take you. I think multiple Marines have been, over the years since I was a kid, I've heard about a few times where Marines have drowned out there. U.S. Marines, because they got an embassy nearby. And yeah. So I wouldn't test those waters. I think there's a huge undertow out there. But you know, these are areas of the world and how I see them. I've filmed in a lot of places. I've visited a lot of places. And when it comes to having a level of motivation, like feeling motivated in a place to film, create, I don't know. I felt like Lima was pretty good for me. And that might be the fact that when I was there during the summer, good amount of sunlight, you got the beach right there by the city. So you can be in your spot and you're like, oh, dang, you're editing, doing something. You're like, dang, the sun out. All right, boom, I'm about to go outside. You walk outside, you walk to the beach. You have an amazing Malecon or boardwalk to walk. And then, you know, if you want to run, jog, which I did a lot of when I was there, plenty of space for that. Miles. You can do 5 miles. You hit the main spot and then go to the right, and you got at least 3 miles from the main part of it to the end. Turn around, come back. That's 6. And if you want to run to the other end, that's another 2. And come back from that. So if you want to do that route from where I was, that's a 4-mile run. But then you can go further if you want and go to like the Statue of Christ. Add another 2 on that. So that's 8 miles if you want to go there and back. Yeah, so the fact that you can do that, have some really good food available for decent prices in Lima, good coffee, nightlife is there, although I wouldn't say I wasn't going heavy on nightlife at all when I was there, but it's there. I think next time if I go back, I probably will check out more of their nightlife. Let me see what we got. Yeah. I'm gonna say it was it was during all that when we were traveling. You know, you'll see some of it where we masked up. You know, you had to get the little all these. You know, Mexico was good during that period. He did a bunch of stuff in Colombia that was driven by the fact that you couldn't go anywhere in Colombia. You had to stay inside. And I remember I was in Mexico. I was like, bro, you need to come up here. Like all that craziness they talk about that there, you can't leave your spot until this day of the week and then go out and blah, blah. I was like, bro, they ain't doing none of that in Mexico. The only thing I noticed in Mexico is I went to Puerto Escondido one time by myself, and they said the beach was off limits. And then, but a few people were still walking on the beach. And so we were walking on the beach. I was walking with a friend, and we were talking about some stuff. And then you ain't see, but at the end of the video, a police officer came up on a moped. He was like, yeah, y'all got to get off the beach. Don't you see the signs that say you can't be on the beach? I was like, oh, word. And that was it. But we did like a 30-minute walk on the beach. We were one of the few people out there. Crazy times, man. That was a crazy situation in the world that some people were all in on that. Like, oh yeah, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like, bro, you know, I was telling people at the time, because all that happened when it went down. Actually, I was in San Diego, and then I went across the border, and I realized like Tijuana was not what you expected. You know, you expect to see commerce at the border and all that going across. Nothing was moving across. But when I went across, people still had the choice to do whatever they wanted to do. The only thing is, like, when you went into a restaurant, you know, you had a mask up and they had a little pump there. But most things were still open. It was just way less traffic. And I remember I asked somebody, they were like, oh, I told somebody, they were like, I was like, yeah, man, some people, just how you could tell who you're talking to. Some people like, oh man, that place, they're going to have a lot of casualties. Like, okay, we'll see. We'll see. The way y'all talking, if the world population is not cut in half in a few years, then everything you're talking about is bullshit. I was like, because the rates of bodies you're talking about, if it's not more than the normal death rate that happens naturally in the world from all causes, if that number doesn't go way up, then everything is a wrap. Just basic numbers, man. People were not rational at all. I hope that never happens again. That they play the whole globe like that. And if they do, I hope a few other countries, not just Mexico, because Mexico was one of the few that was holding it down. Like, all right, we'll play this game a little bit. We'll play this game a little bit, but we still out here making money. They was like, we'll do this a little bit, but nah, we're not for real with it. We about at that time, Mexico, from what I gathered, Mexico was the freest country in the world. They say land of the free, home of the brave. That was a crazy joke to me at that time. I was upset that the land of the free, home of the brave. Did us like that. Mexico was the only spot, man. There's people from Europe coming over, all over. Other people from other South American countries was coming up. I remember I saw some people from Chile. They were talking about how it was crazy down there. They were up in Mexico. But anyway, I'm glad it didn't persist. I'm glad we're in a more aware state right now. Like I said, I hope it never happens again. Anyway, I think that's it. Like I said, you're new to the channel, check out the content. We're going to do a lot. Got something coming out, hopefully tomorrow. I'm probably going to work on it a little bit here tonight, get the last little bit touched up. I'm going to try not to overthink this video. It's going to be about Costa Rica. It's going to be a little travel trip, Costa Rica. Give you a sense. It'll be me leaving the DC area, going to a beach that's not, not a big beach, but it's a more like a tropical escape type getaway in Costa Rica. But I'll tell you this. That day that I traveled there was a long day. I had an overnight flight, slept on a plane like maybe 1 or 2 hours, got there, rent a car right from the airport, multiple hour drive. I was actually doing a lot. That might have been a little, I was doing a lot that day. Got some decent footage, but it was fun. And parts of the trip were relaxing. So, and it did, I was out of my normal element, so to speak. I was first time I've driven overseas in a long time, in a developing country. So that was cool. Although if I do it again, I'm going to get a more premium grade vehicle, because the one I had, although the rental car place was amazing, the prices were good. They let me get it without a credit card on hold. So they did it with a debit card, which is excellent. And I had full insurance. No incidences happened. The only say I'd get a premium grade car is just because when you're traveling over the mountains in some of these places, stepping on the gas, you're going up an incline like that, you feel a little bit more comfortable with a little bit more power under the pedal. Not because you want to be a speed demon, just because you want the thing to react the way you want it to react. And the car I'm used to driving in the States that's never a problem. It's always one of the fastest cars on the road. So being underpowered is not ever an issue for me. So that was different. But anyway, that's it. I think we're going to end this live now. It's long live, rambling now. But we tested out equipment, told some stories, shared some unseen video. And I think we might have got some new subscribers maybe in here in the chat. Got some new people looking at the videos at least. So that's a win. All right. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a happy holidays. Hope you had a good Christmas. I ain't even say that at all. This whole live stream, I wouldn't even talk about holidays. Hope y'all had a Merry Christmas, happy holidays, or whatever religious holidays you are celebrating this holiday season. And yeah, check out the stuff. We'll try to do one of these lives somewhere in the near future. All right. Appreciate y'all. I'm out.